what's also important is what happens inside the school, because a school is not just a building.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Law of Attraction podcast. I'm your host, Natasha. I'm so excited to be in Guatemala today. If you're watching this right now, as opposed to listening, you're seeing this beautiful surrounding around me. I've just spent the last week in the rural villages in Guatemala, all over Guatemala, with the charity Pencils of Promise. And I'm here today with such a beautiful, beautiful soul, the CEO, Kylie Scales. She's the CEO of Pencils of Promise, and they've really welcomed me into being on the advisory board here. I'm so grateful that I'm now alongside such incredible individuals on this charity. And this week we've been helping in the schools and laying the foundation for the school that I'm personally building with Pencils of Promise. I'm so excited. Today's going to be a really, really special episode. So if you're not watching and you're just listening, I'm going to describe where I am. I'm in a place called Antigua in Guatemala, and we've just finished, as I said, that week. So we're just having a down day, relaxing in this beautiful greenery. I can smell the limes all around me. There's like lime trees here, and I'm just so excited to bring on such a special guest who I've had the pleasure of spending this week with and seeing the work that they do and being involved with it. They gave us such an amazing welcome, you guys. It was so beautiful. They put on these huge welcome ceremonies for us. 640 kids go to one of the schools that we are helping in. I gave a workshop in menstruation hygiene. It was just amazing, understanding and learning how they live in this part of the world, and really eye-opening because it's the truth. Like, we don't see the truth of the world and how people live and how they don't have toilets and how they don't have normal sanitizing products and hygienic products to use. So Kylie is going to share with us some amazing things of how you can live a more purposeful life today. Welcome to the show,
Thank
amazing
you.
woman, Kylie Scales.
Thank you so much. And thank you for spending this incredible week with us. We did a lot. We did all of that. We painted.
It was so fun. I actually painted some of the school blue and yellow.
And
it
yellow.
was so fun. Yellow are your
Pop.
colors.
It must be yellow for pop. Yes, and everything that you said was what we do, and bringing people here like you to see and connect with our folks and to meet our team and to meet our kids and our teachers, and our parents and all the communities that we help support really is impactful for everyone. It's impactful for the people who get to come, like you. I remember telling you before you came that this would change your life. As it has changed mine, as it has changed so many others. And it's impactful for our communities that we support, because it is incredible to see that people all around the world care, because as you were saying, there are people in this world that are overlooked, frankly. And overlooking people affects all of us. It affects every person in every way. It affects the global economy. It affects individuals. It affects humanity. So when people are able to see that others really care, and that people around the world see them and can help elevate them, and help provide them and remove the barriers to their basic human rights, the ripple effect is immeasurable.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful way to phrase it. The ripple effect is measurable. And I saw that because when we were in these communities, right, I could literally see where my money goes. Like, I can see the WASH program you have, which stands for
Water, sanitation, and hygiene.
Yeah, water and sanitation, hygiene. I mean, it's wonderful. They have stands in the schools. And to someone listening, maybe this sounds normal to you, that we would wash our hands with soap in clean water. They provide water filters to make sure, they even have clean water. Because in their homes, they don't necessarily, they wash their clothes in rivers. Like, while I've been here, I have seen life on the other side. I've lived it. Like, I've literally experienced this emotional pull to want to help, the desire to want to make change, like you do, and the one you've done this many different times in, you know, across the course of the last 10-20 years. And so now you're doing it exponentially with pop, which is so incredible. But what was really amazing was to see is things like the stations where they wash their hands, and then workshops going on where the teachers and the programs and the trainings that they have, they are educated so that they can take that into the school, teach 640 kids. But it's not just those people. The ripple effect means that those children in the school go home, and then the parents are also taught. So the parents are taught, the community's taught, so everybody is taught these new methods, the ways of learning, education, sanitization, how to look after their bodies, because so many kids, and I didn't know this is terrifying, so many of the kids drop out of school. I was like, why are kids dropping out of school? Because they get diseases so young. They get diseases so young, as you were, you know, explaining to me. They have no way of surviving or getting better, or so this is preventing that from happening, because they're washing their hands if they're going to the toilet. They're washing their hands after they're eat before they eat food, and they're learning. So it's more than just a school. It's like an entire program to elevate health.
Yeah, and I love the way you put that. So just to give listeners a bit of a background about what POP is. So POP was founded in 2008 by a man named Adam Braun, and many people have heard of Pencils of Promise through over the years, because we've gotten a lot of attention from really incredible people who've been able to tell our story.
Let's hear some of these people, because this is really amazing as well. Think about the people. This is how big and powerful this charity is and the work that they're doing. You've had the likes of Justin Bieber.
Yes. Very early on, Justin Bieber was an early partner who was able to do one of the first artists to be able to donate $1 from his ticket sales to the organization to help us scale and grow and build now more, after that period of time, more than or nearly 600 schools, and so donating $1 from every many of his concerts allowed us to raise over $1 million, and that brought us into this bigger profile. And so other notables after him, Shawn Mendes, Little John, Sophia Bush, Gary Vee, I can continue to go on and on and on. The people who have really, and people, everyday people, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, all types of individuals from every walk of life, teachers, students, who have really been inspired by the impact that pop can have on an individual, on a community, and as such on the world. So since its founding, the organization has, with one school, so the way it really started was that our founder decided, she traveled all over like many of us, and he realized that there was a need around the world, and that an impact can be made by building schools, because he saw that there were places in the world where children just didn't have infrastructure, or their infrastructure was inadequate for learning. And as Natasha was saying, as you were saying, that there are children who would have to drop out or wouldn't have opportunity to attend school, things that we all know and understand, basic education, and children weren't able to do that. And so Adam realized that they would have the impact of building a school, and he had a birthday on Halloween, our anniversary's coming up, and he rallied his friends to help him build a school. And that first influx of a small capital went into building POP's first school. And since that time, the organization has scaled to 3 different countries. We first started in Laos. Now we're in Guatemala as well as Ghana. And as I said, we've built almost 600 schools, which is really amazing when you see schools. You know, when I heard that number, I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. And then when you see what a school really is, you realize the massive scale and the massive potential. And cumulatively, we've served over 875,000 community members, families, teachers, students, because as you said, our programming and building a school in a community transforms that community and provides a ripple effect to sustain a community for generations. As well as impacting their day-to-day.
So powerful. And it is generations, because they go on to take this to their children's children. And you're seeing the impact. Like when the babies are born, you're seeing, you know, the people in the village and in the homes, they're practicing these same things that they're learning, the education, the books, the reading, the sanitization, etc. all throughout. It's so powerful. What's your favorite part of what you do?
That's a hard question because it's all my favorite. But one thing that you said that did resonate with me was that you mentioned that a school is more than a school. So one of the things that I learned coming to POP was how the work that we do is holistic, and how the holistic impact is what transforms a community. So what I've learned is that that we can build schools all over the world, but we want to make sure that those schools are best utilized by full communities, that the work that we do is impactful and sustainable. So one of the things that I'm really proud of is the fact that we work closely with governments within the countries that we are in. So a lot of times people ask, why are you in those countries, or will you expand? And we certainly may. We'd love to. We certainly want to scale and continue the work that we do, but it's very important for us first and foremost because we want to ensure that our schools are sustainable, that they last for generations to come, that full communities are able to take advantage of the programs that our community helps support, is that we respond to the needs of our communities and our countries. And so the best way to do that is to ensure that we work closely with the ministries of education to satisfy the goals of those ministries. We want to work in countries that with us and with our support can help elevate the educational outcomes of their children, of their students, of their learners. And so we identify areas that are in need of sometimes infrastructure. So POP builds schools. We physically build an infrastructure. There are places all over the world where children, as I said, don't have adequate infrastructure. There are places in the world where children have to learn outside, which is not optimal. Because the environmental conditions won't allow for a full day of school activity. So if it rains, or if there's anything environmentally that can disrupt a school day, that can disrupt the school day, and multiple disruptions will not have the best outcomes for students. So building infrastructure is very important. What's also important is what happens inside the school, because a school is not just building. A school is a place, as we all remember. I used to love school, and what I remembered about school was not just the safety of the building, which was very, very important, but also how I was engaged by my teachers, how I felt about myself, and I knew that that was the place that I would learn how to become who I was supposed to be. I learned so much in school in addition to literacy skills. I also learned how to relate to myself and the world, and that was through my communication and connection with my teachers, and they knew what to teach. And so part of what POP does is we ensure that our teachers that are placed in POP schools are adequately trained to understand students through socio-emotional learning. So they know their names, they know how to greet them, they know how to show love and care and respect for students to make them want to go to school.
I noticed that. It was so beautiful. They were like in the class teaching, and when we were in the third grade, the teacher was like hugging the kids, and it was so moving.
It's important for the child.
So important.
Yeah.
It was beautiful education.
Yeah.
You talk about movements a lot. Movement. How do we get more movements happening?
So I believe that in order for us as a community, a global community, I believe we're all connected. I believe that we are a global community, that each one of us takes care of each one of us. And the way that we do that is to, when we talk about movements, we talk about rallying people around a centralized cause. And we say movement because it's an ongoing conversation. It's an ongoing need to bring more people who then move the challenge along towards solution. So in order to build a strong movement, we have to first resonate with one another.
Yes.
We have to share a common goal around progressing mankind, around improving our communities, around becoming whole and well, and in an environment and creating a world in which we can not only survive, because survival is very important for many of us, but also thrive. The ability to thrive and the ability to succeed and opportunity is our birthright. It belongs to all of us. And we must work together to remove the barriers for all of us, because it benefits all of us. Economists will tell us that when you invest in women, they elevate their communities. Economists will tell us
Yes.
that when you tap into talent, allowing talent to grow and thrive and contribute benefits the world's economy, and not just lifts people out of poverty, but moves us towards abundance. And so I believe that building movement means translating those messages in ways that everyone can connect with, so that we can all move towards an environment, a society, an existence where we all thrive.
Hey, my name is Natasha Graziano. I would love to invite you to my book club, which is hosted every week live on Zoom with me and loads of VIP coaches that we bring in every time for you. VIP coaches like John Assaraf from The Secret, Michael Beckwith from The Secret, and some of my A-list stars and Selling Sunset girls that you may know of. I can't wait to get to know you. I can't wait to help you unlock the code to the law of attraction, unlock the code to abundance, unlock the code to what you truly want in your life. You see, it's just literally a switch. Once I learned to turn it on, my life changed dramatically. I went from a girl who had nothing in the bank account, hundreds of thousands in debt. I was a girl who was kind of trapped in her own mind. I guess I thought life was as it was, and it would never get any better, and money would never come into my life. And then I turned on the code to the law of attraction, understanding the neuroscience behind it, understanding the ancient wisdom behind it, and my life changed dramatically. And here I am now showing you how you too can transform your life. When you come, you'll be around other successful entrepreneurs, other people who are also wanting to better their life. I can't wait to show you how you too can better your life. Come and join us. It's all available inside of the app. Click the link below and I'll see you there. That is so beautiful. I love it. And it's so true, because this also goes into people who are in the first world, where, you're listening in now, you may well be in a privileged situation. I'd call us all, most of us, who are probably listening to this are very privileged, but that's because we are now meant to do something with that privilege. So we were speaking about this yesterday, the idea that it's almost like a lottery when you're born. You're either born into a lesser family, or you're born into a more privileged one. And what are you going to do if you are born into a more privileged one? What will you do with your resources? The reason that I do what I do at such a level, and I have such tenacity to reach so many people, is because the more people I reach, the more people I'm helping. I'm helping with their mind, but beyond that, the more people that I serve, the more abundance I create in my own life. And with that abundance, I have more resources to help in the world where I want to. And that's where I make the huge changes as well with Pencils and Promise. So I've chosen that this is the charity that I'm associated to. This is the charity that I want to attach to. This is the charity that I want to do work for a very long time with. I want to help move mountains with them. And, I'm so excited to see my school come to fruition, that, that we've created that. I'm just so excited. And, me building a school is amazing. They've built 600, but you listening right now, by contributing whatever you have, you could put towards a school build. You could, whatever that you can do is worth it. Never think that your contribution is too small. I used to think, $200 isn't enough to do, and actually no, it's because of my $200 that I kept putting into different places alongside other people that then multiplied and did other work with other charities I supported before. And now what's so cool is I'm in the place where I am fortunate enough where I don't need any more handbags. I don't want any more handbags. I really don't like shopping anyway. If you know me, I really don't give a fuck for shopping. So, but I don't need any more of those things. What I need to do is see a change in the world, because I can't go to sleep at night easily thinking that these people are living without the normal basic resources that we have. That's what I love about Pencils of Promise, that you guys truly are going out there physically. I've met some of the team, I say some of, 50 people who are physically just in one school, just in one location in Mazatenango, a place in Guatemala. I had this beautiful welcome ceremony from you guys, and I saw the amazing people who are such incredible individuals who have not only given their life for this, by the way, they live away from their families, they live away from their kids to serve this mission, They are incredible people. Some of them have managed to be educated in America. They've got out of Guatemala to go and do something, and they've come back to come and serve this mission. It's so powerful. They are such change makers.
Yeah.
They are the real people with their hands on, and I just feel so grateful because I know where my money goes. So therefore, I can vouch for this charity for anybody listening and say, if you want to know which charity to trust, well, here's a great one that I truly trust because I've been around them, the best part of this year, and now physically seeing the work, hands on the ground. The press speaks for your charity anyway, and it's so fantastic. We were tapping into yesterday, children and their birthright, and it was mind-blowing seeing what some of the kids didn't have and then what they now do have being in the schools. Can we unpack that?
Yeah, I think that when you're able to provide things or support people in ways that have an impact in their day-to-day life. So as you were saying, children go to school every day. Children learn and are in those learning environments consistently. And when you're able within that school structure to not just be able to provide that infrastructure, but additional things like clean water. And I've seen some of the children, they'll take the water and bring it back home. Or like you were saying, when our teachers or our staff are able to train our teachers to engage our students with the knowledge to learn how to wash their hands properly. Those are the things that change their daily life.
Yes.
So in times where a POP is not providing support, there may be communities where, or there are communities where, as you said, students don't have clean water, they don't have access to that, or they don't have the knowledge to use a bathroom, let alone have a bathroom. And so that can breed diseases and make them sick. Or as you tapped in earlier about our girls in many places in the world, girls don't have the opportunity to attend school every single day because if they have their period, something as simple as natural as having your period can interrupt their learning for a full week.
This blew my mind that they don't go to school if they get their period for a week. What the fuck?
Yeah, this happens all over the world. It's something people refer to as period poverty. There's many different reasons why periods can interrupt a girl's learning. It may be resources,
Wow.
It's information, it's knowledge, it's bias that exists and extends from many years of passed down misinformation.
And they're using rags as well. They're reusing a rag for a week. Imagine the infection that comes from that. I'm washing it in a dirty river. That's what I love about you guys. I did while we were here, I did a workshop on menstrual hygiene, and we were showing them, here's a pad that you guys give, and all the schools, they have access. They said in every classroom, they say to the girls, here's a pad at the back, take it. Or I'm sure some of the boys, if they have a sister at home, they'll probably take it for their sister, which is beautiful. Yeah. And it's this is what you do. And, it's making it a non-taboo subject as well for them because, and it was funny, the girls were giggling, they were like, they were embarrassed a bit. And I was saying to them, in Spanish, every girl has a period. I have a period, you have a period, she has a period, Oprah has a period. I mean, do they know who Oprah is? Interesting me. Hopefully, because she's amazing. But, we were showing every woman that you see around you, your mom, your grandma, everyone has had or has a period, and it's normal. And it's just normalizing that for them and helping them understand, using a pad, you can still come to school. Yeah, and it's important to let girls know, and boys. So in some areas we're able to work, we're able to engage boys in the conversation as well, and further community members, because it's stigmatized for women. And I think that resonates with every woman who lives. Every woman understands the stigmatization of menstruation when it begins. And when it begins, it impacts your self-esteem. It impacts your ability to be on a level playing field, and it holds you back.
And there's no reason for our periods to hold us back. It is very normal, as you said, and it's part of our empowerment. And so to change that messaging, to shift that narrative at a very young age, to engage the whole community in that narrative, because you need multiple people to embrace a narrative in order to see real change. Back to that movement conversation, you need to be able to translate and to ensure that everyone around you understands why it's important to normalize menstruation. Then girls don't leave school for 1 week out of every single month, and then eventually fall behind when you miss a week of school every single month. By the end of the school year, you're left behind, and that is why we see girls and in a different place in the world as they grow into women, and that is a very large part of it, because then they don't move on to secondary school, etc. So by interrupting that at the primary school level, where PA primarily works and knows that our impact has the greatest effect, when you interrupt that early, then the trajectory has forever changed. And to your point about what people have, and then what they didn't have, and then what they do have, what is so impactful about Pencils of Promise, and why I love it so much, and perhaps my favorite part, as you asked me earlier, is the fact that we not only know that our impact is sustainable and will impact the global economy by elevating talent and by putting different types of people into the workforce to stimulate the economies in multiple communities in multiple countries, but it also has a daily impact. When a girl now knows that she can go to school when she has her period, her day, her life is changed. When a child now knows that they have a building that represents dreams and hope and learning, when they have materials like books or electronic readers, because we bring in technology as well.
I saw that, all the
to support our
little
students.
iPad things. It was amazing.
That helps us scale the social impact deliverable.
Okay, how can somebody live a more purposeful life? They've got success, they're creating abundance, or they're on their route to creating abundance. I know for me, I decided to create a more purposeful life, that I would start giving a certain amount to charity every month. I decided that percentage was right for me, and it increased. And now I take it as like, I can do things that can also benefit the world. For example, every time I host an event, I think, okay, if it's a big scale event, I'll think, how can I now give back? How have I done it previously in smaller ways? I just literally decided at the end of each month, where am I giving to? What am I doing? I didn't ever wait until like the end of the year. I didn't wait until set times necessarily. And I know some people live their life in that way, and that's beautiful. And I know a lot of philanthropists that do. But philanthropy for me is just always giving, because it creates purpose in my life. It makes me know that the good I'm doing is not only having an instant effect and an effect positively with the work that I'm coaching, but it actually has a huge ripple effect, because that money that they are putting in to get their mind created in their best way is actually going to help more people in the world, without them even knowing half the time. So tell me your answer to that. Well, how can someone live a more purposeful life?
Yeah, I think in many of the philanthropists and many people from abundance, and even just everyday people, because philanthropy, it doesn't just belong to a certain type of person, as you said. What I enjoyed most about our time spent together is the transformation that I witnessed that you had, the joy, the tears that you cried, the joy that you experienced, the connections that you made, and that it really is humanity. That allows us to move from this place of trauma, which we all know far too well, to this place of joy, which I think is important for us to be able to thrive as individuals. And philanthropy and supporting of others does that. And everyone deserves that. Every person from every walk of life, as you said, large and small gifts, big and small organizations, deserves to connect with humanity and understand their individual impact, because it gives you purpose. And so I believe that is how we move towards a life of purpose, by finding that connectivity with each and every one of us, because we are all we have. We are all here together. We all, and I'm speaking of humanity as a whole, we all experience this trauma. We all experience pain. We all need different things at different times. We all need love, most importantly. and in support of one another is what allows us to experience what makes us human, which is love. I also think that having a very values driven life is important, and it allows us to stay grounded when times are tough. It allows us to come out of the darkness when the world can feel dark and heavy, which it does now, especially experiencing a global pandemic, going to this next phase of uncertainty. It can be heavy. Experiencing social unrest in many parts of the world, violence, all of the things that create heaviness for human beings. I think that being grounded in values, what do we want to do? Someone asked me once, what are your values? And my values, and I knew immediately, my values are responsibility and connectivity. And I can say that I know that, and I know that every choice that I make in my life is grounded in responsibility and in connectivity, because that is what makes me feel whole as a person, and that is what makes me feel love, which is our ultimate aim, our ultimate goal in life as humankind. So to remember to stay grounded, to identify what our values are, to consider living a values-driven life, to identify what those values are, and to put that into practice in a day-to-day way, and know that that practice, that search for wholeness and for love and for joy belongs to all of us. And the way that we can do that is in support of one another.
Beautiful. So touching. So if you want to live a life of purpose, if you want to connect your business to your purpose, if you want to make a positive impact in the world and thrive and live a life of wholeness and oneness, and know that your money and your hard work and your efforts are value driven, and that you're creating something wonderful for someone else in the world who just was not born into what you were, then tell us what we can do.
Yes. I'd love for everyone to really think about how they can contribute to the world, and certainly contribute to POP, Pencils of Promise. And so to do that, you can follow Pencils of Promise anywhere on our socials. You can visit pencilsofpromise.org to learn more about how to build schools, how to provide furniture, how to support our programming, and know that every bit makes a huge difference, and that would be the best way.
No, it's so beautiful, and every little counts. Don't think that what you're doing is not enough. It is. It is enough. You are enough. The link is below so that you can give whatever you want today if you want to. Or maybe you just listened and that was enough for you and you learned something amazing. That's beautiful too. Whatever you took from today, take from today. But if you want to just know that your money's going somewhere beautiful, if you are listening to this, and I guess, we're already in agreement that we like the same things, so this is something that you like and you would love this. It's a beautiful charity, and if you have a look, we'll put a little clip at the end of the work that I did out in Guatemala while I've been here, and what I'm going to continue to be doing whilst I'm here. So we'll put that up. We'll put a video connecting to this. So if you're not watching this, make sure that you tune in so that you can go on the YouTube and just type in this episode, go and watch it, come and see what we actually did there. The links are below. Make sure you follow this gorgeous queen who I love, and I'm so grateful to call one of my friends now, and just wow, it's been an amazing week with you. You're so inspirational. You're so empowered. Like, we just have the most amazing conversations. So you can follow Kylie. I'm going to put all her links below so you can continue understanding and learning. And she shares the most amazing things. She really is a badass boss babe. And it's all things success with her. So you're going to love it. And you can also follow the charity, Pencils of Promise. The link is below. Make sure that you follow them, like their stuff. You're going to see me on their page as well. You're like, oh my God, I know her. And you'll know loads of other faces on there. Meadow Walker's on there recently, and all these amazing people who are also supporting. And you can be the next supporter too. And I would love to do something with you if you're listening and you're like, I want to do something with you, because I know so many people have been messaging me and DMing me while I've been here saying, oh, I want to do the next project with you. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So DM me if you want to do something more. But yeah, just, give away, do your thing. You can share it. You can tag me if you want, and I'll repost. We're so grateful to have had you here today. Thank you for having me in Guatemala. It's been amazing.
It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you share this episode with a friend if you've enjoyed it. Press subscribe, press like, and follow so this arrives on your device every Thursday morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. I'm Natasha Graciano, and I'll see you soon.